The plasma fire had torn through her wing membrane like tissue paper. Commander Zereth of the Draconian Imperial Fleet spiraled through the debris field, her massive scaled body tumbling end over end through the void. Emergency seals had locked around the gaping wound in her side, but she could feel her life essence, what humans called blood freezing in crystalline patterns across her golden scales. So this is how it ends, she thought, watching the distant stars blur into streaks of light, not in glory, but alone in the black. Her ship, the Firebolton, was anatomized by the Krillix dreadnought that now dominated the battlefield. She had bought her fleet time to retreat, time for the younger ones to escape. It was enough. It had to be enough. Zereth closed her eyes, embracing the cold, but the cold never came. Instead, she felt warmth, pressure, movement. Her eyes snapped open to find herself cradled against something solid and warm. A pressure suit, human design. Through the reinforced helmet visor, she saw a weathered face, sharp blue eyes, and a jaw set with determination that transcended species. "Stay with me, Commander," the human said, his voice crackling through the emergency channel. "I've got you." "Impossible," she rasped, her translator struggling. "I was ... Yeah, well, I'm pretty good at ruining people's plans." The human's jetpack fired in controlled bursts, carrying them both through the debris field with practiced ease. "Name's Jason Rodriguez. And you're not dying on my watch." Zereth's vision swam. Humans weren't even supposed to be in this sector. The Terran Alliance had signed neutrality agreements with both the Draconian Empire and the Krillix Collective. This battle was not their war, she managed. Jason's grip tightened around her, careful of her wounded wing. "Because that's what we do, ma'am. We're stupid that way." Through the haze of pain, Zereth became aware of other things. The human's suit was scorched, the left arm sparking with exposed wiring. His oxygen gauge was flashing red. He was injured, running low on air, and somehow he'd chosen to rescue her instead of himself. "Your oxygen will last long enough," Jason interrupted. "There's a supply cache 2 clicks ahead. Salvage depot from the last war. We'll make it." They wouldn't. Zereth could calculate trajectories and fuel consumption in her head, even while dying. Jason's jetpack was sputtering, and his oxygen wouldn't last another 10 minutes at his current exertion rate. He was carrying her dead weight through space, burning through his reserves at a catastrophic pace. He was going to die saving her. "Let me go," Zereth said, her voice stronger now. "Save yourself, human. I am already dead." "Not even a little bit dead yet, Commander." Jason adjusted their trajectory as a piece of hull plating tumbled past. "Besides, I've seen your service record. You held off an entire Krillix battle group for 40 minutes while your civilians evacuated the Theran colony. Saved 60,000 souls that day." Zereth stared at him. "How do you—" "I was there. Groundside. Terran Observer Unit." Jason's voice carried a smile she couldn't see. "Watched you dance through the sky like an angry god while those transports launched. Most beautiful and terrifying thing I ever saw. Been wanting to say thank you ever since." The supply cache materialized ahead, a tumbling cylinder of blast-scarred metal. Jason fired his thrusters in a final, desperate burn, and they slammed into the airlock with bone-jarring force. His oxygen gauge hit 0. Jason's hands moved with mechanical precision, even as his movements began to slow. He cycled the airlock, shoved Zereth inside, and his body went slack. No. Zereth's claws found purchase on the interior walls. Despite her wounds, despite the pain that screamed through every nerve, she hauled Jason's limp form inside and slammed the emergency seal. Atmosphere flooded the chamber with a hiss. Zereth tore at Jason's helmet seals with trembling claws, careful not to crush the fragile human skull beneath. The helmet came free, and Jason gasped, his lips blue, eyes unfocused. "Breathe, human," Zerath commanded, lowering her massive head close to his. "Breathe. You do not have my permission to die." Jason coughed, then laughed, actually laughed. "Yes, ma'am. Wouldn't dream of it." Over the next hour, as emergency systems flickered to life and automated medical systems tended to them both, Zereth learned more about Jason Rodriguez, a veteran of the Titan front, decorated for valor, discharged after losing his squad to a reactor breach. He'd been working salvage operations, alone in the black, when the battle erupted overhead. "Why did you really come for me?" Zereth asked as the medical foam sealed her wounds. "You risked everything. For what?" Jason met her eyes, and she saw something there that her species had forgotten in their centuries of martial pride. Simple compassion without calculation. "Because nobody should die alone in the dark," he said quietly. "Not you, not anyone." 3 days later, a Draconian rescue ship found them in the cache, alive and recovering. As they lifted Zereth onto a medical transport, Jason gave her a casual salute. "Take care of yourself, Commander." "Wait." Zereth's voice stopped him. "The Draconian Empire remembers its debts, Jason Rodriguez. You will have our protection, our resources, anything you require." Jason smiled, that infuriating human smile. "I'll settle for knowing you're okay, ma'am." But as the rescue ship departed, Zereth made a decision. She would ensure the Terran Alliance received the full story. She would testify before the Imperial Court, and she would make certain that, when humanity finally took its place among the stars, they would be remembered not for their weapons or their warships, but for their courage, for their compassion, for the veteran who had cradled a dying dragon in the void and refused to let her go.